Hi everybody, welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to demonstrate Bismark BS-16i. It's been around for a while, but I never done a review. I think it's an awesome application. It's very much a 16 multi-timbral sampler, which can be used as a keyboard instrument. You can use it as a sound module, and it supports sound fonts and also downloadable fonts, which is absolutely great. It comes in two editions, the standalone edition, which is what I'm showing today, and also the AUV3 edition, which you can run inside your preferred host like GarageBand, Cubase or AUM. So starting from the top left hand side, so the first icon when you click on it is the one which will show you the screen which you see at the moment. Okay, and the next one is the mixer, and you can see at the moment it's showing part from 1 through to 8. If you click again the mixer, it shows you part 9 to 16 because it has 16 parts. Here is where you can set your left and right pan for each part, the same for reverb, chorus and delay send. And you can set the receiving channel, MIDI channel, if you want to mute or solo the part. Here's where you select the preset from the library, which we'll look at that in a second. Here you have your volume, and then you can do the same for all the different parts, but also as a master. Okay, let's move back to the beginning, to the first screen, sorry. Next we have a play and a stop button, because you can play MIDI files. And next we have the button. As usual, you should recognize the icon is to share. In this case you can share, for example, an instrument, some fonts, or also a MIDI file. You have your left and right meters volume. You have an icon to show if you're receiving MIDI signal. And then we have scenes. You can record effectively configuration. So for example, in this case, I have at the moment you see on the first part a stereo grand. If we go to scenes, let's load the piano plus string, which is a part 1 with 2 layers. And so on and so forth. For example, part 1 split, portamento, etc., etc. Next, you have an icon for a MIDI utility. Here you can do a general MIDI reset. You can set all the notes off. You can set which input, core MIDI input you're using. In my case, I have an external wireless Bluetooth from Akai. What is the core MIDI output? You can search for core MIDI network contents, and down below you can see also the Bluetooth connection. In this case, if I click on Bluetooth, you see my external Akai controller connected. Next we have a button for settings. Here at the top you can select in-app purchases. There are two types. The first one is to have a high-res synthesizer engine, which is quite good for high quality sound. And so you have better floating point calculation. You can increase also the polyphony to up to 128, which is cool. I shall have that done. The next one is the scenes. This is where you have you can do some scene management. You have the wave tables here, where you have different libraries that you can load, which is fantastic. So you can click on one and you can select what library are available. In this case, I pre-downloaded before an additional library. In this case, as a sound font. In this case, I assign it to library number 2. You can select the songs. In this case, there is a default one, Simple Made, or you can import one, which I've already done. In this case, I imported ABBA Super Trooper, which I'm going to select. You have options on synthesizer. Here's where you can disable the high resolution engine. You can set the sample rate, the polyphony. use the breath control as expression, then you can set different settings for each part. So the MIDI channel, the keyboard range, the velocity, sense, and also your scale tuning, which is actually quite cool. Next, you have a section on effects, and here you can set your reverb effects, your chorus effect, and also your delay effects. And you can choose from some default ones as well, or you can do your own settings. Next, we have the keyboard, the upper keyboard, the lower keyboard on the front screen, called part 1 and part 2. Here you can select which part are being played. Saying for the lower part, you can set to have between black keys, yes or no, if you want to show the label, if you want to show the label only on C's, if you want to show the keyboard range, if you're using 3D touch, setting for accelerometry, minimum, maximum velocity, and modulation. Then you have setting for playbacks, if you want to set it to repeat, yes or no, and for core MIDI, where you can set buffer and latency, which are quite important. You can enable or not the background virtual MIDI, and also you can have a device auto lock or not. And at the very bottom you can have, of course, important information about Bismark, which will direct you to the Facebook site. Okay, back, let's close that. So moving on, here we have the upper part and here the lower part, and so I'm going through one of them, and the second one is the same. So the first one is the part, which part you can select, then which channel you can receive, if you want solo or mute, octave below or above, you can change that. You can have sustain on or not, you can have scroll or not enabled on the keyboard, and then you can change also the width of the keyboard. Okay, here you can set we're in scale mode. You can set the output here in the terminal volume, pan, reverb, chorus, and delay. You can set the tuning from here. You can have your EG filters, your attack, decay, and release, and your cutoff, which is quite cool. And you can also have some setting for LFO. Let's go back to scale, which is the first one. And below here where it says stereo ground, here's where we can select the preset from, in this case, the first library. If you want to change library, you click on library and then you choose another library, like so. Here you have the keyboard for the upper part, and then below you have the same for the lower part. And here we have, as you would expect, we'll have modulation, and pitch shift. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, you can load different library. So in this case, if I go to library here and I select the second library, I can select the pad sound. In this case, it will sound like a pad. Quite cool, quite cool. And let's test out some of the changes here. Output, so change the volume, pan, change the reverb. With the chorus, bit of delay, which of course works better with a different type of instrument. The tune, as we said, the filter, LFO is quite interesting. And of course you double click to reset it to to default. Okay, as I showed you earlier, you can also load the song, and if you've done so, and then you can click on the play button here, and it will play. Of course, you have to make your own selection for what instruments are being played for each of the different part. Okay, I'm going to stop here, and I will do another short demo to show you how you can use the app also as a UV3 module. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy. See you next time. Bye.